everyone's like, I don't even know how to say your name. And I'm like, S-Z-E-T-O? I don't know why S-Z-E-T-O, but sure, you know, like, so anyways, I digress.
Welcome to Canada.
I'm Andrew Szeto, and we are here in the woods, my woods, behind my sauna here with some skateboard siding. It's friggin' cold, but welcome. So I don't know, I make a bunch of stuff, I make a bunch of content and have fun mostly, try to like keep myself stoked, but mostly I'm a skateboarder. So I like to take that medium of skateboards and, you know, build them into things. So we're in Ottawa. It's like the capital of Canada, like our Washington, D.C. It's kind of like generally known to be like a boring place. Like that's like seriously the moniker online. That's one of the most boring places in North America or the world even. But like I love it. Like it's like, I love when it's like underground, right? Or like low key. And it's like, there's actually so much epic going on out here. It's a beautiful place. And we totally love being out here. Like I mentioned, I've started off as a skateboarder, sponsored all that stuff for a long time, and just like that was like what I knew. So like I don't know, I'm getting older, and like my knees just don't work. Like I know it sucks, but so I started like whenever I was injured, I'd basically take skateboards, I'd cut them up, and then just start hacking away at things. And it's always like I don't know, one thing after another. I'm always trying to like, like what's gonna completely blow my mind. If I build a sauna inside it out of skateboards, if I make a kayak and it's out of skateboards on the top, if I make baseball bats, just playing around basically is really what I'm into, and trying to like test myself, I guess, challenge myself and continue to grow. Yeah, have some fun.
Oh. Get everything on the way out. That's how we take this thing out. So here's like the kayak I made. All skateboards on top. Took this thing to a bridge that was like only accessible from the water, and then got up on it and did like a kickflip on it and stuff. I go on like a 60-kilometer paddle with it every year too. Dude, it's so fast. I can keep up with any canoe out there pretty much. So my adventure rig.
What am I doing? Great question. If I knew exactly what I was doing, I'd tell you. But I don't know, I feel like I'm always like, I don't know, I'm just trying to like rip it around, like I'm trying to stay stoked and trying to financially have some financial security. So I have a day job at the Department of Fisheries and Oceans where I'm like a videographer and photographer on the creative services team. It's okay. Like I was working historically for the Coast Guard for like 14, 15 years, and that's where I got my start in the department, and it was awesome. Like we'd be on the boats and shooting cool stuff.
Don't fall. It's gonna fall.
And then my girlfriend, my beautiful, basically my wife, Amber, she always had this dream of like opening a store. And then we did a pop-up last year and it went really well. And then this storefront came about, like sort of Chinatown, downtown-ish Ottawa. And I was like, yo, like if you want to do this, let's make it happen. And so we went and did that. Not really on my bingo card, if you will. But like I'm like, yo, it's actually like been so rad. And we have an incredible community around us now through that. And I don't know, it's brought me a lot of joy actually. And then outside of that, like I mentioned, is like trying to build things and always trying to like do something crazier or something like, just like, what have I not done, or what am I really in love with, and how can I marry them with like this medium of skateboards?
Okay, so we're now at our store, downtown Chinatown, Ottawa and stuff. And yeah, this is like a culmination of Amber's vintage that she curates, which kills it, along with a lot of my builds, along with a ton of builds. And goods from locals, like a whole bunch of local makers and stuff, and it's incredible. It's awesome. I was like, well, you know what? Like, I think as a couple, it's worthwhile to support each other's dreams. And I love her, and I was like, yo, let's do this. Let's make it happen. All in all, it's been like nothing but incredibly positive so far, and we're mega psyched. Not a lot of people come to Ottawa, but if you do, like, we're in the Chinatown area, and folks should definitely pop by.
Coming from the skateboarding background, I used to be like a skateboard photographer, shot a ton for magazines. And then I went into like making videos for skateboarding and also motorcycles for a super long time. And then, yeah, like once I started making things, it was just like a marriage there, like why wouldn't I document the things that I make as well, Hey folks, Szeto here. I mostly did it just to be like, if I have kids someday, or if like, I'm dead and somebody like stumbles upon my A-frame or the sauna, is like, yo, what was this, And it's like, yo, there's straight up YouTube link to it. And you're like, peep exactly what went down, right? Documenting, editing, just trying to like have my spin on things is kind of, what it's all about, I suppose. Going into making content, it's just kind of a crazy one. It's always like throw shit on the wall and see what happens, But it's like you have the idea of the build, and things are always changing. Like that's the thing with social media that drives me nuts too, mind you, but it's always changing. Now more than anything, it used to be like, like let's document every step and like let's put out a tutorial. But like, who are we doing that for almost, Like I think you can still get that from making like just like seeing the process like a little further out. So now I'm like, what do I want to make? How can I somewhat inject like comedy into it? Because I want to just be able to like laugh at myself and just like have some fun with things. So there is certainly a little bit of planning. I just made like this video with like this hanger thing that it's all about the balls that you're making. And so it's just like, I don't know, can we make some jokes about balls, After having refined and polished our balls, we drill out of the hole at the bottom and chop off our balls. It wasn't that great. I feel like I want to work on like this comedy bone thing a little bit more, but it's out there. I don't know, I'm psyched, With work stuff, I like came out of school, like all spry, like engineering school, chemical engineering. And then I was like all stoked to be an engineer. And so I was actually, like I got a job with the Coast Guard being like a systems engineer. And like, it kind of like really let me down. I feel like I was like, there weren't really good mentors or role models. And I was like, yo, we're just like glorified project managers here. I think I got really pissed and I was like, yo, I'm gonna quit. And they like were just like, really? You can't quit? I was like, of course I can quit. Like, what are you talking about? And then fortunately, the head of the Coast Guard like saw my Instagram and YouTube stuff. And he was like, yo, like, here you might quit, but like, yo, like, what if you tried the social media thing? And then the time the Coast Guard didn't even have social media yet. He was like, what if you like were my like storyteller for the agency? And I was like, yo, like, sign me up, And so that was a really, really amazing time because then I actually got to be on the coast all the time. There were summers where I was never home and just like working off of ships and just like, being a part of missions, being a part of like, we traveled to the Arctic. I've been working up in the Arctic a whole bunch, East Coast, West Coast. So that was really fun. And then, taking those, I started making things at the same time because I knew I always kind of wanted to. And that's kind of where we're at today, I guess. So getting into woodworking, there's a shop in Ottawa called the Ottawa City Wood Shop. It's like a community-based wood shop. Or broke my ankle, or like rolled my ankle super bad at the time. And I was like, yo, I'm like looking for something to do. So I started taking some classes there. And then I was just like, yo, like, this is kind of it for me. I'm like, I'm really psyched on this. This is a different avenue to try things. And it's like, I have this medium of skateboards, like let me bring this here and start like hacking it up, There was this dude always in the back corner, Richard Scott. And he was like my mentor, but he was also everyone's mentor. Like, he was there, I think, like it's tricky. He's like a dude with disabilities or who had disabilities, but he had so much knowledge and skill. And he was so happy to impart it on everybody and like just be everyone's coach. And it was like, there's no project too big or too small that won't be done without this guy. You know, like we can do anything. And like without him, like he like taught me everything. Content, rewards is that you get that dopamine hit, I guess. You know, it's fun when you see pop off. There's certainly a community who like comments on my stuff all the time, and I do love interacting with homies. And so to be able to take it from like this digital world to like real life and then talk about projects with people in real life, that's been super rewarding. And then the challenges, I mean, like it sucks sometimes, it does, right? Like what are we doing? We're succumb to Zuckerberg's like friggin' algorithm and whatever he wants kind of a deal, and you pour your heart and soul into something sometimes and it's like it doesn't perform and it's like it's gut wrenching, right? You're like, it was like 80 hours or plus, but it's like, why was that too, and then you're like, and then the tricky part with content is that like, not so much content, but like being on social media is that there's always this like comparison side of things. You're like, like, do we all need to have like 100,000 subs and like have every video be like 200, 300,000 views, whatever, because I certainly don't get that. And it's like, it's tricky, right? Like, you're just like, why am I doing this sorta sometimes? Like, or like, or it messes with you. Now more than ever, it's like, put out the best that I can do and try and be somewhat consistent, but also it's not everything, it's not necessarily even real life fully, So it's like, focus on my family and community and friends and my health and stuff too. That's, I guess, the challenges and trying to navigate around it sometimes too, and not making it everything, I suppose. I mean, I think it's, relating back to what I was saying about learning and like trying to be optimistic and growing and stuff. Like, I think that's it. Like, I'm always like curious, trying to stay curious, trying to tinker, and trying to grow, And so when I see others, like, that's the most beautiful part about this community is that we're all hacking away at something, We're all trying to grow. We're all trying to tell better stories. We're all trying to like, make stuff that we've never, that challenge ourselves. And so like, what's not to be stoked about when it comes to this community, I suppose, and this like craft that we're trying to put together. It's pure passion, like put the corporate like day job stuff aside and let's like focus on like, how can I make this world that doesn't exist? Or how can I make this thing that doesn't exist? And how can I tell the story of this thing in a fun way that's going to make me and my friends laugh, maybe? Yeah, when you see others just trying, like, what's not to be psyched about,
I don't know. Like I used to be like, okay, like I need to take more stock in my technique, etc. But now it's just like, did you do the thing? What's the thing? And like, if you get from A to B, like, honestly, the most interesting things on YouTube or seeing people do things is doing them completely ass backwards, but getting to the same result, It's the journey that's like exciting and that you want to see. So I'm like, like, know enough to not kill yourself, but like, just do the thing and have fun. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's huge. So that said, let's blow this thing up. Hopefully not.
So skateboards as a medium, there's huge challenges. It's a pain in the ass. They come in all shapes and forms and slash concaves. They're all like, you're never getting a straight piece of wood when you're working with a skateboard. So you have to like glue it together and then cut it apart to make it like square and straight and stuff. And then to even get to using the medium, you have to take off the grip tape. You have to take off the gunk that's on top of a skateboard. That's like tens of minutes per board right there. Times however many boards I use a year, like hundreds. And so there's challenges there. But I actually did this research not too long ago. The global skateboard market size was estimated to US dollars of 3.22 billion in 2022. If you break that down conservatively, in Canada, like it's like $80 a skateboard. It's usually about $50 to $60 a skateboard, but at $80 a skateboard, it's like 44 million skateboard decks are made a year. You know, and like when it comes to skateboard makers, I'm like, yo, there's like 5 of us, like a handful of us. So this is a resource that's just like, comes out, it's used for like a month or two, and then generally speaking, it's gonna end up in a landfill. It's all maple, it's a hard rock maple, which could be beautiful to use for things. And then oddly enough, the plies come colored, and like, it's just like, yo, like what's this weird rainbow situation happening, right? Like half the people that look at my stuff don't even know it's skateboards, right? And I don't know, it's fun to be able to take this resource, like 44 million skateboards, something that would generally be slated for the landfill, and be able to take it and create something with it that people don't expect, you know? And it's also like, it's just like, it's what I knew, you know? It's what I grew up with. And, you know, to be able to have it all come full circle a bit, I don't know. I'm like really just, yeah, it's me, it's my shit, you know?
Okay, so we're now at Burling, which is a skate shop my super good homies own. Yeah, it's an amazing spot. Pretty much the only skate shop in town now too. So like one thing that's like super important is that they actually make all their house decks with colored plies. So they make these boards with the idea in mind that they're eventually going to be recycled and made into something, you know, after the fact. So, you know, skateboard will go out, people will skate it, and then because it's got the colors, it makes my products and products out of skateboards more interesting. So they like, you know, I think it's like $2 for each colored ply that they put into it. And like, yeah, they're easily spending like an extra $6 on each skateboard. And yeah, it's definitely not something they have to do, but I'm definitely mega grateful for it. And it's incredible to be able to use it in my products and stuff. And then the other side of it too is that when the skateboards go, like everyone in town, fortunately, knows to like drop skateboards off for me. So I'm psyched. I have like a never-ending supply, fortunately. So yeah, make something out of all these. These are perfect too.
Yo, yeah, honestly, like other makers is a big one. People pushing the limits, pushing what they're capable of inspires me. My homies inspire me. My girl, Amber, she inspires me. Thomas Dambo out in like Denmark, he does the gigantic trolls that are everywhere. Epic. Jay Nelson, he's like a surf builder dude, and he like mollusks surf shop in Venice. He's got built like a little treehouse situation inside the store, and he builds like weird go-karts, and now he's building like incredible homes and stuff. Like always mind-blowing. That stuff really inspires me. Things that are different, you know? Yeah, you know, Jason with the boats that he builds, Jackman, like a huge inspiration. Get like folks like Make with Miles. So I don't know, the maker world, the homies, inspiration's literally everywhere. I don't know. I'm never not stoked, I guess.
Yeah, so this one's sketchy at best, so it might fly off. And that's like the thing with any of this, is that you're working off of a medium that already has 7 glue ups to begin with, and then you're adding all these additional glue ups to it, and like best case scenario is it doesn't blow up on you or fly apart, you know? So that's just the game that we play here. Good times.
so you should work with your hands, or I work with my hands because I got them. I wasn't when I was first like starting as an engineer. And I think that's like, you know, as a systems engineer, as a systems guy who was more or less a project manager and stuff, I was like, yo, like, what is my life even right now? And so using and working with my hands like led to a lot of purpose, you know, in a world that's pushing more and more digital and AI based. I'm like, it's critically important now to use your hands, I suppose. I'll be working with my hands until I hopefully die someday, hopefully not too soon. But I don't know, like until my hands stop working, I suppose, until my legs stop skateboarding, until like, you know, yeah, you know, there's folks like Ted Moores out there who like these like canoe builders who build into their 70s and 80s, you know, building incredible crafts. I'll build as long as I can build, I suppose. The future that is me, I don't know. Like, I think I've got like a list of builds that I'd love to get to, hopefully be a little more consistent on everything, you know, just have fun, I guess, with it. Never not adventuring, hopefully, you know, pushing my limits, trying to find different avenues, worlds, and explore them with my my wife Amber, and just like, you know, have a good time with the community, especially now that we own a store. The store is a huge one. Ensuring that we're providing value to folks, a community hub, especially in some like tough economic times and stuff, you know. But yeah, how we can really just looking after people, looking after ourselves, having a laugh, and building that big. I think that's it. It kind of means everything because it's like, it brings purpose. Like, I can't help but feel it's like, you know, I was like a young, lost engineer, you know, coming out of school all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and just like having these like pretty whack mentors, like didn't really help. And then when I went into building things with my hands, meeting folks like Richard, and like building things that I never had the right to build in the first place, and being able to blow my own little mind, it's given me kind of everything, I suppose, you know? So yeah, purpose, I suppose. What was the question? Yeah, it makes me happy. Yeah, let's keep building cool shit and, you know, hopefully, you know, blowing our own minds. Yeah, that all keeps me happy for sure.
I mean, it's like November right now, and you know, in Canada, the big thing is we start sharpening our skates, we get our hockey sticks ready. This guy will be on the snowmobile with me as we go to work and stuff.